Guest, Brittany Cohen, studying electrical engineering at Brown. Her work focuses on adapting garments with 21st century technology. Brittany, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
So, talk with me a little bit, electrical engineering and wearable technology. So, here you are, a student. How did you come up with this concept?
Well, I've always loved fashion. I grew up loving to express myself through clothing, and I also grew up tinkering with different electronics, and I wanted to always do something revolutionary in the clothing industry. So that's sort of how I merged the two and got into this area.
Fantastic. Step a little bit closer here. We don't want to lose you at the side. So when did you start in on this when you were at Brown? When you were like, I'm going to do my own clothing line?
Well, actually, so I started this back in 2014 when I was at Hopkins for a little bit. And I discovered the Make It Wearable Intel competition, and that's where I was like, this is when I want to begin. And then I explored different areas that I could learn. So I took classes at MICA, which is the art school there. Then I learned stuff at Hopkins, and then I came to Brown, and I further explored different things.
So this is just part of the journey, again, moving forward with wearable technologies.
Yeah.
Before we go to the close, because I know that's what everyone wants to see, because we're promising you wearable technology, but, looking at your bio and what you're looking to do, the areas that you're questioning include, and let's go down the list here, sustainability, how to make clothing fit different sized women to be more versatile so that people don't discard it quickly. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, so the clothing industry is the second most polluted industry in the world, and I think that clothing and technology have a way that it could possibly create clothes that are one size fits all. There's also been some stuff out there recently more focusing on origami styles, on how you can fold different patterns to make the clothing last longer for when you grow and get older, and there's some really cool work being done in that area.
So as you mentioned, again, so much can be tossed out, as you said, not fitting, so it's the sustainability factor of it, of trying to make clothes so that people can actually wear them more often and in different ways. So sustainability was the first one. Prevention, how to use clothing to our advantage to prevent cancers from spreading quickly and track down when it starts to form.
So that's a really exciting one. That's, I think, kind of being hidden right now is clothing. It's something we wear every day, and sometimes we don't notice like cancers forming. And there's actually there's a bra out there right now that there are inserts that can detect when the breast tissue is forming different cancerous.
Really?
It's incredible, and I think that this area is really gonna shoot up.
The area of prevention, that's super, super interesting. So we had sustainability, prevention, interaction. How can clothing be used to help people engage with one another since electronic devices have taken this away?
So just adding on to that, because, our cell phones, although they're a great device, they have, in a way, taken back our one-on-one interactions in person. They're now very, over the screen, and I think that clothing can be a way. I actually have a piece that I didn't bring today. That's used to catch one's attention in public so that people can approach one another more easily and be able to have conversation.
Now, is it attracting people because it's bright, because it says something, or is it literally technologically attractive?
Well, this piece, which is almost done, so it has different holograms on it that display your interests so that people can go up to you and ask you hey, I see that you're displaying something about that they heard in the news recently, and that would strike a conversation if they have a similar interest and they see that you're wearing something that's projecting something going on.
So that's so much more responsive. I mean, anyone can wear a Boston Celtics t-shirt, and someone might, but I mean, just to bring someone in, as you said, real-time news events. So a hologram?
It's really cool. You can stay tuned. It will be done soon. So.
We're definitely having you back in if there's some hologram shirt, because this is getting very Back to the Future, hoverboard, a hologram shirt. Now, again, that's for the interaction standpoint. Superhuman is the fourth of the fifth areas that you're looking at. So how can clothing be used to enhance people's abilities?
So we have 5 senses, and I think that these senses can really be strengthened through clothing. For instance, just focusing on people that have different disabilities, like someone that's blind. There have been some really cool, innovative wearable pieces that are coming out to really enhance these people that might not have the ability to see things, and it will detect when they're near different bathroom doors so that they know which door they're near, and different areas in that. And then so
that's very interesting. So you say talk about someone being blind, so literally what you're wearing interacting with your environment, mm-hmm. so assisting you to be able to just live a bigger life, finding out where things are more easily, having that interaction standpoint. Superhuman. I like it.
Yeah.
And then finally, self-expression. How can we make clothing more playful and self-expressive?
Yeah. So that one's more of like theatrical, artistic. Some of my pieces here are sort of self-expressive. They're really to just be able to get different points across that you want in the day.
So fashion engineering, when people ask you to describe yourself and what you do, how do you describe yourself?
Probably the typical that I'm like out of the box. I like to say that I like to integrate technology and fashion and really make clothing have a purpose besides just being on our body.
Clothing with a purpose. Well, you brought some stuff, and I'm super excited to start going through it. So I'm going to let you take it away. We'll bring it up, and we'll show folks on the camera. So let's see. Let's go with piece number 1.
Okay, awesome. So this piece is actually one of my first pieces that I ever did. And this is called kinetic clothing. And so the whole point of this is that it has motors on the sleeves.
Okay.
And so I really wanted to play around with electronics and change the style and shape of a garment. So as the sleeves roll up, there's a ruching effect that goes on. And then also this could be used for, if it's hot out and you want your sleeves to be pulled up, or someone that maybe has arthritis and
it's motorized.
Yes. So yeah, all the electronics are inside this pocket over here. I really, with all the work that I do, I really try and minimize the electronics and the weight of everything. And then I like to make sure that there isn't much of the electronics exposed. So, some of it's in the pockets, and then I use something called French seams, which is a certain seam that you can basically sew the wiring inside.
Oh, okay.
So as little exposure as possible. And
if you saw this, you just think it was a pretty dress. Now, you're a petite girl. Is this your size? Have you worn this?
Yeah. Actually, if you go on my website, which is BrittanyCohen.com, you can actually see this working, and I'm the one wearing it. So yeah.
I see some people going by the windows. They are very interested in this dress. No, I think if we had the sleeves going up, they'd be even more piqued.
Yeah.
So when you have, and on the website you can check it out, but you must have had it, what are people's reaction when you have the sleeves bare?
It really depends on the person, because some people are super excited. They love this new approach to clothing, and then other people, it's so foreign that they're just get it away. So yeah.
Now, when you make something like this, what comes sort of first? Did you know you wanted to make something that had sleeves that come up, and then how do you go about then designing the rest of the dress?
It really depends on each piece. For this piece, I actually did, this is the second prototype piece, so I changed it a bit.
Tinkered with it, yep.
Yeah, so it really changes. But again, when I do try and make sure that the electronics aren't as exposed as possible, so I really focus on the different seam lines, and then if I'm adding a lining, how it is, if there are pockets. I really focus on where I'm going to put the electronics.
Okay, so sort of the pragmatic, practical standpoint, the pockets, where the sleeves are. Because this is, totally a pretty print here, and it's just, it's just striking, the combination of technology and fashion. So that's a very fun piece. I'm going to pull this off to the side over here. Oh, maybe we'll hang it up here. What do we have next?
Okay, so this next piece is called Empowered. And it was actually shown in Gallery Open in Boston last year, where it was mentioned in the Boston Globe. And this piece is about empowering a woman during a sexual encounter. So the whole point is that the woman is in control of her undressing. So she has to provoke a power stance pose to reveal her breast. And so there's a finger scanner over here, and only a specific wearer can reveal herself.
Okay.
Yeah. And so once it detects as the correct person, this part comes undone. And this piece is connected by an electromagnet, which is a magnet that you can control when it's polarized. So when there isn't any current flowing through, it disconnects and then falls down. So,
fantastic. Yeah. So is this kind of like the 21st century chastity belt?
Well, I really don't want to sell it as more, as like a anti-rape.
No, but but again, it's called Empower. Is that
Empowered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would one go about this? So if you bring this to scale and you had it on market, would you, in terms of a fingerprint, is it just the same fingerprint technology that's used in other places?
Yes, yeah, it's the exact same one on your phone.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
okay.
It's really cool.
And you've worn this?
No, this isn't my size.
See, it looks a little bigger. You're so petite. What else do we have over here?
And so this piece is called Ultra Vest, and this is one of my most recent pieces. This piece is for trail runners, and it's to create the trail runner to have to keep them cool and hydrated while working out, because trail running typically is outside. Well, it is outside, and there might not be shade, so it's a way to keep them cool.
So you see the pack here, and you see runners run with like the bottles and the packs on as well. So that's the water function. How's the cooling function work?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. So within the reservoir is a pump, and how this works is the pump pumps cold water throughout the vest. And so just a peek on the inside for you guys. You could see that the tubes are exposed to the body to keep you cool, and then there's a temperature sensor, so the hotter you are, the faster the water is pumping through the garment. And then you can view your temperature and the temperature inside the reservoir down at this display.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm so glad you brought some of these examples in, and hopefully in the future we'll have you in for more.
Yeah.
Got another couple minutes here. What's next?
Well, like I said, I am working on finishing that hologram piece. And so I am going to be graduating soon, so, and I mean,
stay in school.
Yeah. So I really want to be a part of another, like a team or a startup that's really creating some innovative, impactful clothing. I really want to explore more ideas of how clothing can be a way for us to communicate better. But there's so much to explore. So
You're certainly off to the races with these pieces of clothing. So impressive. Student at Brown just was coming up with this idea, as you said, worked elsewhere and kind of brought it here to the studio and Go Local to show us again this sort of wearable technology and how it's made possible. So Brittany, I appreciate your coming in today.
Yeah, thank you so much.